We've got another suggestion in the comments. This one's from King Frere, who says, I feel like Viscera Cleanup Detail might be too easy, but I still really want to suggest that. Well, we have a way to complicate things.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to make Viscera Cleanup Detail the movie 2.
This is the sequel to Viscera Cleanup Detail, the movie.
That doesn't exist.
Well, we're pretending it does exist.
Well, yeah. I'm just confirming so people don't go looking for it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Screen to Screen. I'm Andrew, and this is Chris.
Why, hello there. So one thing I always liked is Viscera Cleanup Detail. It's not just the campaign where on the space station. There's a bunch of game modes where you clean up after, say, Shadow Warrior. The game Shadow Warrior, you clean up the player's actions in that game. There's one where you clean up the actions of like a horror movie that took place. Santa's Rampage is Santa Claus goes on a bender and kills all his elves, and you clean that up. And just the notion of like the Shadow Warrior one in particular, of cleaning up after some other game. If we were doing a movie, the fun idea would be like a movie like John Wick happens, and you know they had that cleanup crew happen in the movie. Wouldn't it be fun if Viscera Cleanup Detail follows the events of other movies? Like if you have a company like, I don't know, Platinum Dunes or Fox or whatever, like pick a studio that has a lot of IPs and they get Viscera Cleanup Detail. Viscera Cleanup Detail could be a series of movies that takes place after those other movies or even during. It's just a fun idea I had.
Like if Disney ends up buying everything anyway, then we could just have them do it.
It's true. They're on their way. Any day now we'll have only Disney movies.
Maybe the first thing we should do is just real quick go over what could have been the first movie, just to sort of find out where we
and I think it's important because it'll set up the sequel.
So I imagine we're probably going to see like an alien invasion and then like a big battle, and then maybe that's all like the beginning, and then like the movie's about sort of the formation of this cleanup crew. You know, I don't know if maybe it's like an entrepreneurial, like sort of like little guy, but then they build a big business or something. I don't know. But we would have probably some alien fights. We would have a lot of stuff to cleaning up, and it would probably be like a businessy thing, unless this is sort of like a government funded cleanup crew.
Oh, we can really go in either direction. Like the event of something like the movie Aliens needs to happen, or if we're sticking with games, maybe they adapted Dead Space into a movie. It's already a game.
Or maybe it's something sort of like how there was Sunshine Cleanup is a movie about two sisters are going to business cleaning up of like crime scenes.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something like that, and then they're about to go out of business, and then there's like a big alien war, and then they're swimming in business now.
Yeah, they're the only ones that take the contract.
Yeah. So it could be something like that. So I don't know. Do you think that's like enough? Like it ends, they're successful and whatever.
The first movie's basically the events of like the first game's campaign, which is cleaning up a space station that had like a horrifying alien thing go on.
Yeah. The second movie is like they have their business, it's great, and they've cleaned up the place, and like I guess the war is over, but it's still like, you know, it's the future, and there's like there's alien technology around, and maybe like they've discovered the portal that the aliens took to get to their space station, and that portal kind of leads to alternate dimensions, and some of those dimensions happen to be some action movies or whatever.
Action movies, horror movies.
Right. So now here comes the real meat of this. Like, where do we want to stick these characters?
Well, I mean, so one way to do it is the sequel is them cleaning up after one movie, or it could be a fun like series of things they're cleaning up after.
I'm thinking it's a little bit of the Ghostbusters model, where we have one at the beginning, a whole bunch of montage stuff, and then a big one at the end.
Yes.
So
I like that.
I think that'd be pretty good. Also, let's get some characters. I feel like in the co-op mode, there's like a man and a woman.
It might even just like randomly spawn.
Oh, okay. I mean, I just kind of, all right, well.
But a man and a woman's a good idea.
That's fine, yeah. All right, and so like they're the ones who started the business, or maybe they're from the first movie.
Yeah, they're from the first movie.
Okay. So What's the stakes? What's the goal? What are we looking at here?
I'm thinking maybe this movie opens and their business is doing terribly. Like after that one alien invasion,
right? There's nothing left.
Yeah, like they fully went into the branding of like, we'll clean up your disaster, and like there has been a disaster in 2 years,
right?
And they're just like in an office. They have no money anymore, and they're just tinkering with the stuff they found 2 years ago.
This is like Ghostbusters too.
Yeah, like Ghostbusters too.
I like that. I think that's kind of a funny thing to have, like a commercial on, like, we'll clean up your disaster, and then like the world has never been better.
Yeah, it's just a nice, clean, safe place to be.
Like not only is their business failing, but all of like the copycat businesses are also failing.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing. This isn't a thing anymore.
There are no disasters in this world at the moment. And like the irony will be, we'll clean up your disasters for you. World's great. Cut to their office. It's covered in filth. There's Chinese food, pizza boxes everywhere.
Yeah, right.
Just, we haven't had work in over a year. How are we in business? Oh, we're not. I'm living out of this building.
I haven't been paying you. Why do you keep coming?
I have nowhere to go.
It's kind of fun. I imagine this will be a bit of a funny movie.
Oh, it's 100% a comedy.
Yeah, because this is like kind of a funny premise.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
Like I want goofy moments.
Yeah.
Trying to clean up a guy and like his head pops open because there was like a little parasite inside. Just like, Jesus God.
Here's a little bit of an idea to get our juices a flowing. This game, I watched a few playthroughs in preparation for this. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of Easter eggs in this game for different movies and different video games.
Yep.
So like we could kind of pull from some of those.
100% definitely.
But or just like when you kind of came to me with this idea of like going to different movies. John Wick, I think, was one of your ideas. Mm-hmm. Was there anything else like we can kind of? I
mean, John Wick is a great one. We could do. I like hopping between genres. Like they can clean up after a Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Or actually, let's keep it current. They can clean after the new Halloween that's gonna be coming out.
Oh yeah. Well, we haven't seen that yet, so we don't know what scenes to sort of.
That's true. I'm just. We're not going to be able to do all of them because I'm going to probably mention a couple movies that aren't out yet.
It's going to be a little bit of a Ready Player One situation. I feel like we're going to be paying homage to a lot of these fun little things, and probably painstakingly recreating some sets from some classic scenes.
Oh, definitely.
That's where the fun is.
Oh, man. I mean, mentioning Ready Player One, a really fun one that they can clean up is the elevator of blood in the Shining.
Yeah.
Open the door, see the lobby covered in blood, just close the door. I don't think we're going to take this one.
Yeah, right. That's the whole scene.
Joke,
yeah.
We have a very decent opening. Like we know how this movie's going to start. We know how they're going to get here. I think once they arrive and they figure out, like, hey, this portal just drops us into disaster zones.
Yeah.
Like, this one brought us to a place where some sort of super assassin just mows through rooms of people, and like they press the button again, and they're like, a serial killer just like went through this town.
Right,
they figure it out.
Yeah.
So their office becomes like a series of just teleporter doors that they can go through and clean these situations.
They're profiting off others' misery in this way, which I think could be kind of a fun theme to play.
Like we could have them be super callous and not really understand just how awful they're being.
Yeah. There's a few things we can consider. Why is this portal dropping them into places like this?
Yeah.
What alien technology, what was the purpose of this portal device? And also, like, unlike the first movie where it's sort of like they're cleaning up after a big disaster, this is they're hoping for disaster.
Yeah, like they roll the dice, open the portal, and it's like, oh, sweet.
Yeah, they're like they see someone's been murdered and they're like, pay dirt,
You can have a fun scene where like Jason or Freddy or Michael Myers is like about to stab someone, like they're in a position to stop it.
Yeah.
Like, wait.
Oh man, this is a friggin' Nightcrawler is what this is.
Oh yes, it is.
This is Nightcrawler.
It's Nightcrawler as a cleanup comedy, a janitorial comedy.
That's a good angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like ambulance chasers. Like they're going. They want to see blood. Like I think that's a perfect. That's maybe like the midpoint. Where they have that moment where it's like, I could stop this, but we need the money.
Yeah, like our business is finally doing well.
Man, it'd be really fun. Like, what movie scene should that be? Like,
I don't know. There's so many good choices.
Like, I don't know. Like, the first thing that comes to mind is like Psycho, because that's just like a iconic scene.
That is a pretty iconic.
But I think Should it be like a single person getting killed, or should it be like a big massive like bomb exploding or something?
It should probably be like whatever biggest, bloodiest moment we could have, because then the stakes are, this is going to be a high-paying job.
Well, actually, you know what? I think I want to walk back on that a little bit, because I think there should be... There was all right, so you have...
I changed my mind already. It should be like a smaller personal stakes moment.
It's not so much like, yeah, like this person's getting killed, we're going to get money. It's sort of like, oh, like we weren't supposed to be here, but like... if we just don't interfere, then we're okay. Like something like that.
Yeah, I imagine a good way to do it is every time they use the portal, they show up post the scene in that movie.
Yeah.
And one time they use it and they're pre the scene. So like they're an opportunity where they could stop.
Or
the
someone's
bloodshed.
like not dead yet. Well, they don't have to be dead to clean up.
Yeah.
So maybe that's not the thing.
But I think like we have that. Pop in, it's post John Wick shooting everyone. Pop in, it's post Jason murdering everyone. Pop in, and like they see, I don't know. Like,
does someone explode in a movie?
Oh, there's so many movies where people blow up.
Like,
I'm just trying to think of a good one.
Maybe that's it. Like the whole thing happens, and then like the last one is an explosion. Someone like bursts. They go to
That's the movies where people pop.
Yeah.
Slither has a couple of scenes where people pop. Scanners, yeah.
Meaning of life. Monty Python's Meaning of Life. Mr. Creosote.
Wafer thin.
That could be like a fun part of the montage.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
If Mr. Creosote explodes, they're
I
cleaning
do
him
like
up.
that one. Oh, the cleaner's perfect.
Oh, actually, there was a maid in that scene.
Oh, true.
But whatever. Do we have an answer to, like, why is this alien portal doing this? Like,
I think it might be a good idea to use that as maybe the conflict, the Act 3 thing. Like maybe the aliens are gathering data. Like they're basically doing the footwork for the aliens now.
Oh, so like the aliens that were like wiped out, were like they didn't wipe out like they wiped out the invaders. They wiped out the invaders, but there's still a threat somewhere. They've learned not to mess with, I guess.
This space station doesn't work out because they lost. Wholesale, like it was a complete slaughter. But now they're like, all right, well, we need a different dimension then. Oh, hey, these guys are doing the footwork for us. Well, we can't go to this one. This one's filled with like Michael Myers. This place is terrifying.
It just seems like the portal seems to know exactly when to drop them. So it seems like, but it seems like the aliens already know what's going to happen when it's going to happen.
Well, I guess that's a good point.
Like maybe it's something. All right, so maybe here's an idea. They find a way to tweak the portal so it arrives a few minutes earlier. So it's like Minority Report.
Yeah.
And if by doing that, it would destroy their business.
I see.
Maybe that's the final thing at the end, and then they change their business. Now they're heroes. Now they go dimension to dimension saving people.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good arc for them. Like, oh man, we're ghouls.
Or like, do they get money to save people? Like,
I imagine like you could have a scene where someone's like, oh, thank you. I got to reward you for your good deed. But it's kind of the opposite arc of the Nightcrawler character, so I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Like they learn.
Well, the thing is, if this is a sequel, we already like these characters. We don't want them to
true.
end
We don't want to
evil.
be terrible.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like,
at some point they need to figure out that they have the power to save these people. Like at first it needs to be like, oh, this is such a godsend. It's a boon.
Right.
And then they need to learn the terrible consequence.
Like we have Act 1 and we have the first half of Act 2. We have the premise of the premise. We have them going into movies and cleaning things up, and that's fun. But at that midpoint, I think there has to be that moral decision of sort of like, maybe like we should be trying to change these portals. Like we should be trying to, like one thing happens and they're like, why can't we save these people or something like that?
I don't know if this is the way to go, because it might be a bad message to have in a movie.
Okay.
But like they have that moral dilemma. They stop and they stop cleaning up after, and they start freelancing as heroes. They show up. They stop the bad thing from here happening. They like accept payments, and that's their new business model. But in the greater universe, you have now Friday the 13th. The movie starts. The campers show up. Jason's about to kill the first camper, and then like blam, like hits the ground. they take payments. The government shows up and like freezes the body of Jason. They're like, all right, another good day. And like the movie never happens. Like John Wick never happens.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
they're ruining all these movies.
Okay.
And like people are upset about it. Like the movie going public.
Oh, these movies actually exist
They
as
actually
movies.
exist.
So wait.
Maybe like an interdimensional moviegoer shows up and it's like, what are you doing?
Wait. I just want to make sure I understand this. Like, in the world that we've created, these events are both real and fiction?
So like they're showing up in the real version of it, but like there's like I don't know, a gas cloud that is a godlike being who's just like, I have nothing to watch anymore.
Okay. So it's sort of an analog then.
It's an analog because you can't have like for us like these movies are ruined, but like we just think people are making bad movies.
Right.
You need that higher dimensional.
This is
it's a very high concept movie.
It's very high concept.
I kind of like the idea that like if we're already establishing that movies are just other dimensions and these guys are hopping into those dimensions, like then the movies exist and those exist. So they're ruining the movies.
I never considered these movies to actually be movies.
Oh, I was.
Like they're both real and fictional. I just assumed in this universe everything real. And we don't exist.
I'm just now pushing this into like super farcical realms now.
I mean, I feel like that there was like we were a few steps away from something that was not as so ridiculously farcical.
This idea might not be feasible.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think it kind of creates like it. I don't know. It kind of.
Like, this is the kind of movie that could just end with, like, the universe ceasing to exist. Like, it just push things so far in the realm of
The problem
farce.
is that you're creating Gremlins too. Like this is, we've established this is a sequel. Like, we can't destroy the first movie.
All right. Maybe it could be they try and do the hero business. The movies are all becoming happy movies.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful experience for everybody.
Yeah.
But they run into a situation where there's they can't fix a problem. Like, it becomes one of those like you can't save everyone themes.
Okay, where does this end? Maybe that's something we need to consider.
That's a good idea.
They can't do this forever, and they sort of like, I don't know. Maybe that's like the takeaway. It's like
it starts getting dangerous.
Yeah,
like someone like Jason is an unkillable monster.
Like, it kind of like reminds me of like the end of Schindler's List, you know, where it's like I could have saved more people. Like I don't know, it's kind of turning into like that kind of thing, and I don't feel like that's the tone we want.
No, it's supposed to be a goofy comedy.
I feel like Schindler's List is not the tone.
How do
for
we
this
end
movie.
this as a goofy comedy? How about we do have a farcical ending, but it's a farcical comedy ending. It doesn't need to be too complicated.
Okay.
Like, they get so into the saving business, they just like they don't have any like fallout with it. It's working out great. They're having a good time. Everyone's happy. Like, they feel like heroes, and they just end up stopping the first movie from ever happening.
Okay.
And they find themselves out of a job. Like, they no longer have the teleporter. Like, they retcon themselves.
They retcon themselves.
So like they're standing there in an empty office that never got found, and just like, oh no.
I think it would be funny to have one of the characters they meant to do that because it's the noble thing, and the other character is like, what did you just do?
Yeah, you know, I like that.
I think that's kind of a good ending, and then maybe like
one of them's just like, geez, this is a bit much, and the other one's just really into it. So
yeah,
the hero route is saving all those people that died and preventing their business from ever being formed. Like, that's the right thing to do.
I like that, but I'd also want one more little bit of hope for the end that they're not going to starve to death.
Yeah.
Like, maybe something they've learned along the way becomes their new business.
Yeah, like the door opens and someone walks in. Are you the new security guards? And just like, yes, we are.
Okay, they're security. Okay, yeah,
like they're now the security for the space station, and they actually have they're trained now.
Yeah.
They've been security for multiple dimensions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible we can have a moment where they figure out that what they're doing is just altering like movie dimensions, like because one thing that happens in movies is I want a good example here. I can't think of a perfect example, but in one movie, the Easter egg is like a character has the poster for another movie in their room.
Yeah.
And you could have that situation where it's like, wait, we were there. We cleaned that. We saved those people. Is this just a movie? And then the fun thing is after they save their own dimension, like they stop the alien invasion, and the thing is like, wait, does that mean we're in a movie?
Okay.
I'm sorry, I really like this type of dumb meta joke.
Well, here's the thing. The thing about that is, like, I don't hate it as an idea, but I feel like if that's the idea, then this is this is not Viscera Cleanup Detail anymore. This is its own thing, and that's fine. But then I feel like we need to simplify the rest of the movie, and it's not a sequel, you know?
All right. Well, in that case, we are doing Viscera Cleanup Detail too, so we need to...
It's a cool concept, and, you know, it's like, that would be a good midpoint reveal. But, I don't know. Like, it's sort of like a weird way to do this.
All right. In that case, we just stick with what we were doing, where they save the space station by...
I don't know where we are with this movie anymore, because I feel like they can't just close the portal up, because then they knowingly let all those people die anyway.
Well, that's why I kind of like it.
It's really weird. Like, I don't know what to do with this.
The right thing to do is like, hey, we got to save the space station, but that undoes everything. We don't have a job. But doesn't that mean all the people we saved are dead now? And just like a farcical ending of just grabbing her head and like, I can't think about this anymore. Like, we're back at square one. We don't have a job.
I don't know how to. This got so out of my hands. Like, I really don't know what we're doing. It seems, I don't know, it feels weird for them to just be okay. Like, if the whole moral dilemma is we can't save enough people, then the solution is don't think about it. Like,
well, no, I'm going with they save everyone.
Like
they end up undoing the timeline. Everything never happens, and you have that like awful moral, like, oh my god, like all the people we saved are now dead again, but now these people are alive. And it's just like don't.
So all right.
It's a Rick and Morty ending.
Okay,
is what it is.
I'm getting. All right, I actually had misplaced the story beat.
Okay.
I thought they were having this conversation as they were making the choice.
No, this is after the fact.
This is like
when the sheer complicated nature of what just happened dawns on them post action.
It's too late to change it now. They figured it out.
It's one of those like the answers don't think about it.
All right. That I feel better about, because then like it almost like you're just.
Like tonally, this is a Rick and Morty movie.
Yeah, okay. Like before, it just felt like we walked up to the theme and just said nope, and then. But now it's sort of like, well, if you think about it, we really didn't solve anything, and that's sort of the joke at the end, rather than okay. I'm a little better with that. This got very weird. I don't remember what I've lost track of what we have.
Well, movie opens after the first one, so they have been out of work for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
They're tinkering with some of the alien devices they found, and they make one that opens a portal and suddenly have work again, because they're cleaning up the post moments in these movies. We have that moral quandary of like, you know, hey, instead of just cleaning up these murders, why don't we just stop them from happening? But we still need to be paid, and then they're basically vigilantes.
So that's Act 1 break?
Yeah.
Okay, so this movie is mostly about them saving people rather than cleaning up after people.
Yeah, because the first movie was just cleaning up already, so we want to move on.
Yeah, this is a different. Yeah, okay.
It's a sequel. It's not a remake.
Right. No, I like that. I just want to make sure I'm confirming that I'm getting that.
So, Act 2, they're saving lives. They're extorting people for money. They start going in a dark direction. One character realizes that, doesn't want to do that anymore. The other one's like, hey, he's putting bread on the table. We're saving lives. It's worth the money. Like, we're worth it. And then you have...
Right, yeah. It's sort of like, you know, we're saving lives, but we're worth getting paid to do this.
Yeah.
Like, we're not taking advantage of people. And maybe they even, like, give discounts to people, like, who can't afford it. But but they need to get paid.
Yeah,
okay.
They gotta get paid. And then you have... again, one person's not cool with it. They have the moment where when they show up, it's like, wait, this is the space station. The alien invasion's about to happen. Like, all right, well, we got to book it. We can't be here because
right. That would undo everything.
Yeah, like we're not gonna get. That's not money. Like that's bad. And the other one smashes the device. Well, I guess we can't smash the device. No, you could smash the device because everything would undo. And one of them decides, like, no, you know what? This is enough. I'm going to do the right thing right here and now. I don't care what happens to us.
Mm-hmm.
The other one's freaking out about the temporal nonsense.
Yeah.
They, maybe, like, the events of the first movie, like, the defense systems were down, and that's why the alien invasion was able to go. So they just hits the button, the defenses go up, the alien invasion's thwarted, time is undone, they never have a job, the other guy's freaking out, but they're held as heroes.
Oh, okay. People know about this.
Yeah, like,
okay.
Like, oh my god, the defenses were down. We would have been sitting ducks. You saved all of our lives.
All right.
And that's a happy ending all of a sudden.
Right.
You could still have, like, that, like...
The funny twist,
but, like, what happens? Like, I don't understand. Like, don't think about it.
Yeah.
Time is complicated.
I mean, that's certainly something.
It's the life is complicated Rick and Morty end.
It's complicated. Yeah, I feel like this needs like a few passes through the writer's room to get all of like
definitely
the things worked out. But I mean, I like the concepts. I know I kind of poo-pooed a few of your ideas, but I do like the idea of like, hey, we're in a movie. Like that's kind of fun, but
but that's a different movie.
It's a different movie, yeah. I almost feel like I kind of want to do that one, you know, like
maybe one day we will.
Maybe we will. Maybe we kind of revisit this idea, sort of, and kind of turn that into a thing.
Yeah, it's a very loose movie, and we didn't really go into a lot of like the details. And that's because the details are going to just be other movies.
Yeah.
And,
like, do we want to think of any fun scenes? Like, I feel like that's really the big draw for this.
If we can come up with a few good ones. I'm kind of, like, flagging, so I can't think well, which is why before I was like, oh my god, I know there are movies that have posters of other movies in them, but I can't think of them.
I don't know. I can't think of anything like that on the top of my head.
Like, we talked about, like, showing up in John Wick, showing up in a horror movie, like, jumping between genres.
Yeah, like sci-fi, horror, like maybe a war movie or something. Maybe that's when it gets too intense, where, like, we can't stop a war from happening.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That could be something.
Like, Saving Private Ryan. Like,
yeah.
Just no. And again, I also like the idea of opening a door, all the blood from the elevator and The Shining, and just, like, closing the door, like, no, not this one.
We're going to pass in this one.
And then, like, later on they become heroes, going through those movies. Like, it's fun picturing them thwarting, like, a serial killer in a slasher movie, thwarting I guess you don't want to thwart John Wick. He's the hero of that movie.
Yeah, but I mean, that could be like one of the first ones. Like, like,
during the cleanup moments.
Yeah. Do you know what's kind of weird? I feel like the best kind of format for this idea, it feels like a sketch.
It does. Like, I'm kind of seeing this as like a farcical sketch, but it's a whole movie version of it.
Yeah, like it feels like it's a fun way to do a whole bunch of jokes.
Yeah. Rapid
fire, but it feels harder to sustain a movie because then you have to think of all of the details and the stakes.
Hey, that's why you have a team of writers doing it, and we're just putting together a framework for them. So good luck, future writers.
Yeah. Maybe the viewers can come up with some good ideas.
Yeah. Tell us like fun scenes from movies that they could clean up or vigilante save.
And if you have an idea to clean up our movie, maybe we said something clever and we didn't realize that should have been the main point.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. Like this was a bit of a improvisational sort of.
It has an improvisational feel.
Yeah, at least improvisational feel. So yeah, if you've got a better idea or just stuff you want to see on screen to screen, you make a suggestion and you say you hope we don't go too weird with it, and then we take your suggestion and go, no, we're gonna do something weird with it. If you want that to happen to you, let us know in the comments and we'll get weird with it.
Bye.
Bye.